Hello, everyone. It's Whitney Wiley, and thank you for joining me for 30 Days Habit. And we are marching through the book, The One Habit for Success, the Smart Fem Summit Special Edition. And today I have with me Jonade Lemonade Saleem. How are you, Jonade?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having
Um, you have a habit, and I love as I'm reading through the book and encountering habits that I don't know anything about. Now, I do know about the importance of gratitude, but you have a particular practice with gratitude that I'd not heard of before, and it's called the 17-second gratitude rant, or you do a 17 seconds of gratitude. Can you tell us what that's about and where you came up with this?
So I didn't come up with it. I actually learned from Esther Hicks or Abraham Hicks.
Okay.
She talks about it, so I would kind of put it into practice. And I mean, I just noticed what it would do for me when I would do that, because I've done other ones too, and I kind of mix and match, but there's sometimes like I've done journals where you're writing 3 things that you're grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
But the funny part was I would notice even on those, like, there's this one journal that had 3 lines, and it says like write 3 things, but I would almost write like 5 things on one line, then go to the next one, and then go to the next one. So
Because you have so much to be grateful for, you're trying to squeeze it all in.
yeah, I was like, I can't just have these 3 things. So I think it made sense. And when I heard about the 17 seconds one, where it was just kind of like, just go on this rant, and if I go over 17 seconds, then cool.
All right.
And
So,
it's also a practice of, I mean, I do it first thing in the morning when I
okay.
wake up before I even like move. Um, but I also know to do it in moments of like, if I'm stressed out for some reason, or if
Okay.
something triggered me or upset me in some way, I always just use that to go straight to gratitude, basically, to
That's understandable.
shift my energy and shift my focus.
Exactly. Exactly. I was talking about that on something else this morning, and it is, when we express gratitude, how it changes our state and we see things differently. So, you've adopted this. Is it something that you do every day, or some form of this every day?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, I wake up in the morning, and as soon as I open my eyes, it's like the first thing I go to do. I don't even get out of bed at this point. I just go off and I start saying stuff.
So, how has it changed your life? In reading the book, I know you talked about your business a little bit. How has this particular form of gratitude expression changed your life and your business?
Um, so what I'd also heard, and I think it might have been from Esther herself too, was actually, I think I learned this from this journal I used to do, where I used to do gratitude in the morning, and then I do it at night also. And I actually do it at night too, because I've realized if I'm going to bed being grateful, I'm going to already kind of wake up in that mood, for the
Exactly.
most part. So I would say how it's helped me is it's kind of helped in a few ways. One, it's brought me a lot of just inner and internal peace, basically, to
Mm,
go to super simplistic things of being great to be grateful for. And what I noticed is it's kind of like when we're grateful for what we already have, that's when the universe likes to give you more.
yeah.
But if we live in a state of scarcity or it's never enough, then I feel like nothing will ever be enough, even once you get to that next goal or
Right.
whatever it is that you're going for.
It reminds me of, there's a phrase that says, he who is not grateful for what he has will not be grateful with what he wants, right? So it's kind of like, why get more if you're not appreciative of what you already have? So that totally makes sense. I was wondering if you would do us the favor of an example of what this looks like or sounds like. um, I know you're not in bed, so you just do it for one of those times where you're just kind of, feeling grateful. And you're like, why not?
Sure, I don't mind. Let me put a timer
Cool.
on. Okay. I'm gonna start it right now. I am grateful for opening my eyes. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my heart. I'm grateful that I'm able to breathe. I'm grateful for the roof over my head. I'm grateful for my apartment. I'm grateful for the food in my fridge. I'm grateful for the water that I get to drink. I am grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my family, for my friends, for my business, my team, my new little puppy.
I read about your puppy on a post somewhere, so I have to look for. I haven't seen the puppy, but I understand. Cute, cute, cute. So thank
So
you
yeah,
for
I mean, the timer went off a while ago, but I kept going because it was
that.
sometimes it's not enough.
And that's okay. And I think the important thing is that it shows people it doesn't take much to do that, right?
Yep.
17 seconds isn't that long. And it doesn't have to be magnanimous things that we express gratitude for. It's the little things that matter just as much as the big things. So thank you for that.
You're
I,
welcome.
I wanted to talk a little bit about your unhabit. And so in your unhabit, you say that we should stop talking shit to ourselves, right? And it's the negative self talk. Now, we've had a couple of habits in the book that have addressed negative self talk. And I'm wondering if you have a particular thing that you do when you notice that you're talking negative to yourself that you do to stop it and turn it around.
It's a great question. It's just like anything else, right? Like when let's say you're trying to work out and build muscles, like you don't just go to the gym once and work it out and then expect that muscle to last. So it's a habit that you have to continuously
People
build
keep
on
saying
and
that. I don't
practice.
understand why that's so.
Saying what?
The whole muscle thing, that
Oh.
analogy.
I think it's the easy analogy to go off of, right? That people are trying to build but so it's been a practice that I've been actually doing now for the last 2.5 years, of rewiring and reprogramming my brain, my neurosystem, like all of it. So,
Right.
One of the journals that I used to write in also, I used to do incantations or affirmation type things where it was like, I am this, I am that. And that was another practice that's actually a daily habit also, of saying those things or writing them, having in front of me. Like I'm a big fan of, like, I'm sitting at my desk right now and I have Post-its everywhere, on my computer, on my desk. I have them on my fridge. I have them in my
Post-it girl too.
Yeah. I have them on my bathroom mirror so that whenever I'm there, I'm reading those things, whether they're I ams or, so it took me a little while to basically reverse what I used to say to myself and say the opposites of what I wanted, right? When we put out there what we want, that's when you'll start getting, you get what you want, right?
Right.
But when you put out to the universe also what you don't want, the universe doesn't really know the difference between language, and you're going to get what you don't want also because you're putting it out there, right? So I've been taught to just focus on what you do want. And so that's one of the things that I do. I think when I'm trying to remember if there's a time lately that there are moments, I mean, it still happens. So there are moments that will come up for me where I might not feel good enough to do something or whatnot. And I have to just remind myself of the awareness that I had the thought, and that thoughts are just things at the end of the day. And you get to decide whether you want to take that on as a belief or not. And when you can have the awareness of realizing that, one, our brains have been around for so long, so there's crap that's programmed in there that we didn't put in there.
Right.
and at the end of the day, our brains are also like, they're there for, you know, the fight or flight. And on top of that, I also kind of throw in the ego of, our egos are actually there to protect us. So sometimes our egos are the ones that are throwing out there like, hey, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough to do that and whatnot, because it wants you to stay in your comfortable zone. And in those moments are the ones that you kind of just have to tell yourself like, shut the fuck up,
Right.
and I'm
Right.
going to go and do that anyways. So there's moments, I guess at this point I don't recall them fully because I've created the habit of getting rid of them so fast. But yeah, just like anything else, it just takes time.
No, that's understandable. It's there's a concept that I learned a few years ago called the diff, and it's a diff is DIF, and it's duration, intensity, and frequency. And I think when we're working on these habits, particularly as it relates to negative self-talk, that the duration, that what you said is key. It's awareness, right? So the awareness of when it starts, so that you can shorten the duration, or you can shorten the intensity or the frequency, and so that is happening less and less frequent, and until we get to a point where you're like, I really don't remember the last time that happened. And I think it's important that people understand that it's a process, right? It takes time to get where you are. And if you've been at this 2.5 years, someone that's, at this, you know, from 30 days ago when they started reading this book, going to have a different timeline for
Yeah.
doing that. So I appreciate you sharing that. Do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share on either of your habit or your unhabit?
Um, I would say for both of them, for anybody that's going to try to put it into practice, or not try, but will put it into practice, give yourself grace. If you miss a day, or you didn't catch yourself early enough, like being hard on yourself or whatever it is, just give yourself grace at the end of the day that like you're doing it right, and you made the decision to put something into action, and it doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect and go right from day one, and that you won't mess up here and there. It happens. Again, I think it's just a matter of the awareness again of like, hey, I had an off day, it's cool, let me go right back to doing what I need to do.
I
So
love
I would
that.
say one of the things is probably just giving yourself grace.
I love that. And I'm going to hashtag that one. It's like, give yourself grace. Because I think I agree with you. I think that's really important. And so if you want to learn more about Jonade's habit and his unhabit in the 30, throughout the book, and he's one of 30 contributors in the One Habit for Success. If you want to read more about his habit and unhabit, purchase the book. The link is in the post. And Jonade, again, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you taking time to come and share your experiences and your habit and unhabit with the audience.
Thank you for the opportunity of sharing this.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.